All right, project update time. Sorry folks, I don't have a full episode for you this week. There was some shop work that came in and got in the way of filming. But I still want to give you your weekly fix, so let's just cannonball through some of the fun we've been having. Now, a lot of you have been asking about this nugget behind me right here, and by a lot I mean zero, so why don't we start with that. This is a 2008 Cineso synchro that I took in on trade last spring. It's part of the first generation going back to '03, making it the first machine in its price class to be made in the USA with as many domestically sourced parts as possible. Now, it earned a quick reputation as a high performer, but this one's got a breach number 3 boiler, and Gen 1 support is being phased out as of last September, so it's probably not feasible to turn around and put back into commercial service, but I might yet lose my mind and try to hack it into a single group. And honestly, that could happen tomorrow. You might come in here and find this thing laid out on the floor with me hacking on it with a chainsaw. I don't know yet, but for now, it's probably just going to sit there. This one here is probably going to be the subject of my next episode. I'm just waiting for some support information to come back so that I've got something to share with you beyond what's just in my head. This is a 2010 Zorko GB5 3EE Hybrid, which means paddle groups and hybrid operation. So it's got an individual pump, motor, and boiler for each group, and they can all be individually adjusted and controlled, which is not a standard production option back in 2010. This had to be custom ordered special, and my suspicion is that it was designed to be a sail maker between the debut of the Strata and the debut of Strata availability in North America pending certification. So probably going to make for a pretty fun episode, so watch for that. Here's my home setup. You can see my GS3s patiently waiting for me to make a coffee, which we will get to in a minute. Here's my EK43s all lined up. This one here I use for espresso. This one's set up for filter, and this one is set up for do not touch. It's just display only. Don't worry, folks. I'm not going to try and make coffee with it anytime soon. Here's what I'm drinking today, if anybody's interested. This is some El Corazon from Peru, roasted by Muttley and Jax, based out of Stockholm, Sweden. I'll stop reading the label. You can see it easily enough. I picked this up from Durand Coffee, which is pretty local to me, and they're only about 10 minutes away. I'm really impressed with this roaster's efforts to be transparent and traceable and ethical. You can see all the work that they're doing on their website. Go over to Durand Coffee, say hi to them, and pick up some of this. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with it. This is the 1984 La San Marco FCS that you might remember from the Will It Run episode. I just decided to take it out of deep storage and bring it back to my office because, I mean, I like looking at it. And also, there's a high-profile collector who might be interested in buying it. So if that happens, I'll put it up on the bench and evaluate it and possibly get it running for him. And that might actually turn out to be a real fun sort of adventure. So keep an eye out for that. We'll see what happens. Here's the Keys Vander Mirage from episode 0, which was our pilot, and it's slowly coming along. I don't have an immediate need for it just yet, but we're still working away on it. You might remember we were discussing replacing or repairing these groups because of all the road rash on them. I just can't resell it like this, but what we ended up doing was we brought in one group from one of my suppliers and I modified it to fit the Mirage, and the modification worked out perfectly. So we're probably going to do that with the next one. I'm just going to bring it in on the next stock order, and then we'll have 2 brand new flawless group heads on it, and you can see what a difference it makes. It just looks so much nicer. We've got 2 new brew gauges on there, and I've also got another gauge here for the technician to adjust the expansion valve, which is also going to be replaced. And we were talking about putting new pre-infusion cylinders on. Well, we've got all the parts to do that, so we're going to put new groups and pre-infusion cylinders on, as well as all the other fun stuff that we were talking about. So as parts come in, I'll continue to update you on it, but this one's turning out to be a real looker. Here are the side panels, which, if you're a sharp one, you'll remember they got painted white to match the body. And it looks like whoever did the work must have skidded them along the concrete or something to rough them up, but that's okay. Same guys did a fantastic job stripping it off, and you can see that they've already been beaked a few times by a milk pitcher or something, so I already knew I had work to do here. So we're going to level this all back down, shine them back up, repaint the grooves. I might even contrast the Veloce script in red here to pick up the gauge faces, and then you'll all be none the wiser. It's going to look great, I promise. Here's part of what took up so much of my time last week. This Pavoni Bar 2L comes back to my shop once every couple of years for a spa treatment, and nothing too surprising. It's about 12 years old, this machine, and it's starting to get a little long in the tooth, but still very serviceable. Interestingly, it belongs to a welding fabrication shop that serves the film and TV industry, so it's kind of a unique customer. They really like me, I really like them, so more than happy to help. And here is the other one. This is a 2015 Electra Classic Barlume that has been on the back burner for a while, but we're putting it back to the front burner and getting it finished off. We got to do some pipe repairs to it. There's just a few high-level repairs that I've been putting off, but it's been completely refurbished and gone over. And I'm kind of anxious to get this out of the back shop and on display, so we're going to finish this guy off. Now, if you were following my Instagram stories this past fall, you might remember this one. This is the Fiamma Emblema that a customer brought in just for a quick dust-off, and it was hiding a really nasty surprise in the control board area, but there was a mouse nest here and all sorts of unmentionable stuff that we were able to clean out of it, and that is a chapter that is firmly behind us now. The machine is powered up, it runs, it's got a couple of other issues with it, but we'll get this out the door yet. This little firecracker I've been working on right here is going to be coming on the market shortly, and my advice, don't sleep, because it's going to make a real affordable high-performance machine. Simonelli Appia volumetric, 110 volt, 1500 watt with electric steam is what we started with, and just because it's affordable doesn't mean I've cut any corners. You can see all the frame pieces have been painted, the base body panel and control panel are brand new, all the usual new parts have been replaced, the boiler is nickel plated, and I've even added a few custom touches to make it perform better than new. I'll put this up on Instagram when it's ready to go, so watch for that. Now, if you want to get into coffee and you don't have a lot to spend, which is pretty understandable in the current climate, mobile and catering is a good avenue to think about, and this machine is perfect for it. 110 volt, 1500 watt power configuration will work on any standard wall outlet, and it's a hell of a lot easier to carry than a 2 group. So keep an eye out for this one, and when it comes up for sale, don't let it slip away, I'm telling you. So that's it for this week, folks. Sorry it's not a full episode, but I guess the real question to ask is, how do the busy people ever seem to find time? If somebody can explain that to me, that would be great.